here to talk about AI that understand people. As an AI scientist, I work with data and algorithm. But as a mother and a citizen, I often ask myself, what kind of world are we building for our children? Because AI is not on the horizon anymore. It's already here. It shapes what they learn, what they see, and even who they become. It's in their classroom, hospital, and our workplace. So the question is not how intelligent AI can become. The question is that intelligence can be aligned with what we value the most, our well-being, our dignity, and our humanity. So that question led us to examine how AI could tune into the emotional dimension of human life, our stress, our connection and disconnection, our anxious and our attention. So early in our lab, we start building AI model that can recognize different emotion. We use different type of body data or human data. So we used audio it depends on different contexts. And we used physiological signal, the data that is coming from the heart activity, brain activity, that can detect different type of emotion. And it worked. We were so excited. We thought that we can use it for different application. It can be used in the classroom to monitor and detect attention and focus of student, or it can be used or it can be utilized in the mental health application for monitoring patients, or it can be utilized or incorporated into multidisciplinary research. But quickly, we ran into something deeper. Yes, AI can recognize human states, but it doesn't mean it understands what to do with it. For example, it detects stress during focus time. It interpret silence as disconnection. So that's what moment we realize something deeper. AI can recognize human state, but it doesn't understand those emotions. So because understanding requires more than signals, understanding requires empathy, context, and intuition. And that realization pushed us to the next question. If AI cannot truly understand us, how can we ever trust it? The gap between recognition and understanding led us to the core challenge of trust. We don't need AI just to function. We need to trust it because we believe that if it cannot understand our input, it has to understand not only our input, but also our intention. And this intention coming from the emotional understanding that play a key role here. Look at the human relationship. We trust people who can sense how we feel and respond with care. The same for AI. If we can have the system that can recognize where we are frustrated, where we are focused or anxious, and respond in an appropriate way, we are most likely to trust it, right? So that's why understanding emotional state is not an extra feature. It's one of the core fundamental key elements of trust, because trust comes not from performance, it comes from connection. It comes from the AI responding not only to what we do, but why we do it. Let me share with you two examples. Consider emergency scenario, like as bushfire. AI support the human operators, and they are working as a team in a collaborative manner to complete a mission. And in this scenario, AI is not a tool, it's a collaborator. And it has different level of autonomy. It can understand, and it can respond, and it can adopt. So in this scenario, humans expect that AI, human needs to trust AI. And because it is expected AI can understand human cognitive load, human performance, and human emotional states, and can adopt and align itself and respond appropriately. Because the moment that AI cannot understand the other side, which is the other partner, then it may misinterpret, it may misjudge, and it can goes beyond frustration. It can causing confusion, delay decisions, or even cost lives. So trust in that scenario, it's not about the blind reliance. It's about the shared awareness. It's about knowing that your AI partner understands your state, your needs, and your limitation. Another scenario is about the robotic companion for elderly care. Every day, we see that those advanced humanoid robots coming to our lives. This is not a science fiction anymore. It's already on the street of San Francisco. It's in the lab and homes in China, and they are, coming to our life. And they are really good at doing the daily tasks. So they can, vacuum, they can lift, carry, remind, and even speak. We do have one startup here in Sydney that they are working on a humanoid robot offering companionship. And they are using for the aged care, for the elderly people. But here is the question. Would you leave your parents or loved ones in the care of robots that they are really good at doing chores? We need to trust them, right? So for an elderly person, trust means believing that the robot understands when something goes wrong, even without saying it loud. If the person is in pain, anxious, and requires help, so it's expecting the robot that understands those signs, which can be physical or emotional signs, and respond them appropriately. It can be by offering the water, or it can be calling the family member, or stepping back to give a space to the person. But here's the critical part. If we design humanoid robot to simply just do the chore, like bringing medication, doing some task, without recognizing those subtle or understanding the human needs, they might respond in a cold way, in an appropriate way, or even unsafe way. So in this scenario, the efficiency is not about the doing the task appropriately. It's about how they are interacting with the human, whether they can understand discomfort, whether they can understand the emotional or physical state of the human, and whether they can respond with the care. If they are not able to do those, how can we trust them to leave our loved ones with those robots or AI agents without understanding of that those robots, they don't care about the humans that is in front of them? So you see, trust in these cases more than performance. It's about the ability to understand and respond to human needs in a meaningful way. So to address these, we developed a trust ever AI model that is integrating and working with the user data. So we are working, so in this scenario, I put the emergency response scenario that you can relate. And in this case, we use the human data that can be collected in different ways. It can be from the heart activity, eye data, user persona, which collecting the profile, the personalized information of the user, and it will incorporating all of these with the environmental data that can be any contextual data. In this scenario, we do have AI agents. They are drones that they are assisting the human operators in the bushfire scenario. And this Trust Ever AI model is built based on four core elements: reliability, transparency, empathy, and adaptability. So those are measurable, trackable, and they can guide AI system decide when and how to intervene. So this loop does matter because when the system aligns with the expectation over the time, trust can grow. And when it disrupts, misjudge, or overwhelm, you know that trust will fade. So this approach let us design AI that doesn't just respond, it responds in a way that feels timely, respectful, and safe. But designing trust ever AI model is just the beginning. To truly earn and sustain trust, AI must be built around people they serve. That's where human-centric design comes to the picture. It's not enough for AI to sense, decide, or even adopt. We must ensure that those actions are aligned with the human needs, human experience, and human values. Trust cannot be created by technology alone. It has to be shaped by people who are experiencing that. Whether they feel understood, respected, or safe. That's why we focus on designing AI that understand people, not through the data, but also through the human experience. So for getting there, we focus on four essential dimensions. We've reduced cognitive load because the aim is to reduce the cognitive load and support humans rather than overwhelming them, especially in high stress situation. We design for emotional safety, so people feel seen and understood, not judged or misinterpreted. We ensure accessibility, so AI can work for everyone across different abilities and languages and different level of digital literacy. And we honor cultural diversity, recognizing that what feels respectful or intuitive in one may not be in another. So together, those elements ensure that AI doesn't just function. It can fit into our life that we feel that is safe, inclusive, and supportive. And as we experienced and explored these dimensions, so it became clear that we require people from other different disciplines. So that's why we brought together people from different disciplines and working with them. We are working with psychologists, not just to understand emotion, but understanding human needs. We are collaborating with designers to ensure interfaces were intuitive, calming, and even comforting, while also being sensitive to user identity and culture. We require to work with ethicists and sociologists to address these critical questions. How do we ensure AI respect human boundaries socially, emotionally, and ethically? Because while AI has the power to support and uplift us, it can bring a real risk. It can overstep, it can replace human roles, and even subtly control behavior. So these concerns are not science fiction anymore. They are not abstract. They are unfolding now. And navigating them responsibly requires interdisciplinary thinking. When does help become harms? When does automation cross the line? These are not the technical questions. These are the human ones. So human-centric design is not about designing a system that is user-friendly. It's about how we are designing systems that start with the human needs and with human constraints and has a human meanings. And these alignment only happen when we combine data with people. When we build system that is informed by data and always grounded in the live realities of human experience. So we are not building system for efficiency. We are building for empathy, dignity, and care. And as we move forward toward the next frontier, artificial general intelligence, or AGI, these concerns grow in urgency. AGI won't just support us. It can make decisions, it can shape narrative, and it can influence relationships. It can even act autonomously in an environment that requires moral judgment and social sensitivity. So the question is not about what AGI can do, it's about what AGI should do. Because AGI won't execute tasks. It will participate, it will negotiate, and even can lead. So that kind of agency cannot be engineered through the data alone. It demands ethical grounding, emotional nuance, and deep understanding of human diversity and values. And that foundation we lay now, today, around trust, empathy, and interdisciplinary thinking is not an optional, it is essential. To get there, intelligence is not enough. AGI must be aligned. It must be aligned with the human values, with the emotional nuance, and with trust. Because the future where AI is more than a tool, alignment is everything. So backing to the first question that I got, what kind of AI do we want our children to grow up with? Not just powerful and fast, but also empathetic, ethical, and trustworthy. AI that can protect, not replace, that can elevate, not control, that can align with our values, not the other way around. And it won't happen by accident. It has to be built on purpose by people who care, people like us. And that's a future worth designing.